right now on a brand new Arizona's Family original.
What if I was just like in one of the cars when the driver got in, like, hey, big boy?
Ready to roll with Whitney Cummings.
I've spent my life wanting to wave this flag, instead I ignore red flags. And then
The comedian's dream that finally came true in the desert. Plus, in the chat, we talk aging.
Others turning 50 this year, Charlize Theron, Eva Longoria.
And you weigh in on the best decades of life and lessons learned. And Big Kid Rick energy.
There are no mistakes in this workout. There's only accidental solos.
We go behind the scenes of a self-love movement that shakes some booty too. Welcome to this Arizona's Family original with me, Yetta Gibson.
I do it like I'm driving.
That is comedian Whitney Cummings with some big jitters before fulfilling a lifelong dream. Whitney has been everywhere in the last few weeks. She is the host of a new game show called Fast Friends, which is based on the popular TV sitcom Friends. And most recently, she was guest on CBS's new Hollywood Squares. These gigs are all really cool, but as I learned, Whitney has had her eye on one specific job for years, which has nothing to do with comedy or TV. NASCAR, Phoenix, Arizona is where we caught up with comedian and actress Whitney Cummings.
Oh, I know you're in a rush.
Am I?
Even she didn't realize that because of her schedule at NASCAR, this interview had to go just as fast as the cars at Phoenix Raceway. The hilarious and gorgeous Whitney Cummings, if you haven't seen her stand up.
Anyone ever taken a self-defense class before? Okay, yeah, that's a lot. Wow, okay. Like 25 women, the rest are dead. Okay.
Perhaps you remember her from her sitcom, Whitney, or maybe you've watched some of her work.
Waitress. Dude.
Hi, what can I get you?
We need some.
Is that annoying?
She co-created and produced Two Broke Girls, a hit sitcom back in 2011. Adding to her long resume, she's also a big podcaster. To us, there's not a lot Whitney hasn't done in the entertainment world, but to her, there was just this one thing.
How did you end up on the NASCAR circuit?
are we rolling?
Yes.
Okay. So it has always been my dream to hold the flag and wave the flag at NASCAR. I've spent my life wanting to wave this flag, instead I ignore red flags in men. And here we are.
We'll get back to why Whitney just had to experience this NASCAR moment. Whitney's irreverence and transparency, the reason why many of her fans love her. She is open about just about everything in her life. Even before her career, she describes going through what she calls a challenging upbringing, living in a dysfunctional alcoholic household, and her parents' divorce when she was a youngster.
The New York Times feature you just did, the quote that I saw, for a woman to be tolerated in comedy, you had to hate yourself. Being mean for the sake of a joke is no longer required to succeed.
When I started, you had to kind of exploit yourself. You had to, as a woman, you had to sort of hate yourself, make fun of yourself, self-deprecate, make yourself less powerful, less, intelligent maybe. I was wrong at the time, but that's what I felt that I had to do to be palatable. And, I think that now women are kind of allowed to have self-respect. We don't have to hate ourselves. We're able to not only have a male audience, but we're able to also find our female audience so we can talk to them more. And I think that, not to get too gendered all over the place, but it's like women are kind of like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Yeah, stop it.
Cut it out.
Yeah.
Like that's not cute anymore.
So now you're free. You were doing it once before. You've been doing it for so long.
My doctor, I didn't want to use birth control pills anymore, and she was like, oh, well, you should use the morning after pill. The Plan B pill is now available over the counter. I'm just like, how lazy can you be? The guy's like, do you have a condom? I'm like, ugh. Let's just deal with it in the morning.
As you can probably tell, Whitney doesn't feed into what critics have to say about her comedic style. Her personal style has sometimes been called daring as well.
Ironically, Whitney feels comedy is a lot like fashion.
It evolves, you know, like the way you look back at your haircut 20 years ago, you know, like I look back at my stand-up, I'm like, oh God, like that's the bangs of jokes. Like that was the Rachel haircut of jokes, you know? And so I think that all you can really hope for is that your audience will evolve with you and be patient with the fact that, you know, it's like, it was embarrassing, but I kind of grew up in public. It's like someone reading your journal when you were 25 years old.
When did you realize it was okay to just let loose and just put things out there that most people would feel like they need to hide?
It is a mental illness. I mean, I don't know if it was a choice. It never occurred to me. I think it's like Tourette's or something, you know. I think when you grow up in certain kinds of dysfunction and you see a lot of dishonesty and inauthenticity and you see people, you know, lying and, you know, I was just always obsessed with the truth. The elephant in the room. I just kind of was like, why is everyone lying? Like, what's true and what's not?
And you should still be feeling that way.
Yeah,
because
totally.
people are still lying. Yeah.
Why is everyone playing to like the lowest intelligence level? It's insulting, honestly. So when I went on stage, I always wanted to play to the top of everybody's intelligence.
I never know how to start an IG Live. And I believe that I try not to say the H word. Hey guys.
Hey guys.
Hey guys. Hey guys. Hey.
I think I also just I always just wanted to make the stuff that I would want to hear. I kind of tried to just think of it that way. If it makes me cringe, I have to say it on stage.
Keeping it real, speaking her truth. That's Whitney's thing.
No, I mean on the main camera.
About a year ago, she became a new parent to this little cutie, Henry.
I mean, look, I just had a kid with some guy. I mean, I'm just trash till I die. And so I think that that's how you get VIP at NASCAR. You just have a kid with a stranger, and they're like, you can play the flag. And then the mic just pulled. The mic, by the way, the mic pulled itself off. The mic.
This is the
That was amazing. Like, you guys have like a string to just pull the mic.
Like, no, don't do this.
Self-sabotage.
Don't do this to yourself.
You're losing custody of your son as you do this. And so, I forgot my train of thought. I also have mom brain.
Again, because this interview was a quick one, we didn't get a chance to hear straight from Whitney on how Parenthood is going. But if you check out her post, she seems to be enjoying her little Henry and is loving every moment. Now, back to why Whitney was so hell-bent over waving this flag at NASCAR. For so many years, she simply longed to do this.
And I'd always asked my publicists in Hollywood, can I wave the flag? And they're always like, how about we get you on Jimmy Fallon? I'm like, fine, but can I wave the flag at NASCAR? And it never happened. And I was like, I guess they're not interested, whatever. And then I see Charlize Theron do it, and I'm like, all right, fine, they're into blondes, whatever. And then I hire this new manager. And he sits me down and he's like, you've accomplished so many things in your life. You've done 6 stand-up specials. You've done movies. What are your goals? Do you want to host the Oscars? Do you want to host the Emmys? Yeah. And I was like, I just want to wave
the
freaking green flag in NASCAR. Yeah. And he was like, I can help you with that.
And you've been asking for how many years?
An embarrassing number, a very embarrassing number.
Sometimes embarrassment pays off. Whitney found her lane.
So all the drivers told me not to drop the flag. So now I'm definitely, I wouldn't have, but now I brought this to wrap the flag around my wrist. Pretend it's my baby. So I don't drop it. Oh yeah, that's okay. But if I do drop it, what's the worst that could happen? Someone hits it and crashes and dies. I mean, content is content. Am I bombing this?
No, you're doing great.
Is this going well?
It is probably about as well as it can be.
Okay, thank you.
Get out of my dreams.
What if I was just in one of the cars when the driver got in, hey, big boy? Okay, I've never been more nervous for anything in my life.
Check the box now.
It's it's a comedian. We don't stay in our lanes. We get in other people's business. I appreciate men that don't stay in their lanes as a sport. It just makes all the sense in the world. And I think it's more that I don't want to get some, comedians are all of a sudden getting all this credit for being these First Amendment heroes and telling the truth. You don't get points for telling the truth.
Yes.
We're not heroes. We're just, whatever spectrum we're on. I don't know.
Yeah.
I just think we get to this point where it's you tell the truth. You're so brave. It's no, that's just should be expected. Let's stop giving out points for being honest.
So all of the brutal honesty you've seen, loved, or hated in Whitney's work is not going anywhere. We can count on you, it sounds like, to always be this in your upcoming projects and things.
Love it or hate it, there's something very freeing about having done this for a while and realizing like everyone's made up their mind about you already.
Exactly.
So and like whatever you think I am is kind of an intersection of who I am and your projection, and you know what I mean?
I love it. Congratulations.
Isn't she the best? Whitney is making a stop in Phoenix again this spring. She is bringing her Big Baby comedy tour on April 19th to the Orpheum Theater. Tickets are on sale now.
Up next, we're all getting older and maybe a little wiser.
What's your best decade? 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s?
In the chat, we reveal your replies to the best ages of life and the lessons learned.
Then, in tonight's Not Done Yetta.
There were about 10 years of my life when I never got into a swimming pool. There were 7 years of my life when I was not physically intimate with another person.
A journey of self-love and movement.
At the end of the class, I looked in the mirror. It was the first time I had really felt proud of myself.
Behind the scenes with the internet's Big Kid Rick.
Opening up about showing up for yourself, one dance move at a time. That's all coming up on this episode of Arizona's Family Original with me, Yetta Gibson.
It is time for this week's In the Chat. In this portion of the show, we're going to take you through some hot headlines. And tonight we're talking about aging. A friend of our show, Drew Barrymore, is making headlines for saying she can't wait to turn 50. She said, quote, "It can't come soon enough." Simone and Ian are here to weigh in on this topic. But first, I had to bring it to you online first.
Drew Barrymore has been talking about turning 50 for a long time, how she's so excited about it. She is even on the cover of AARP. Others turning 50 this year, Charlize Theron, Eva Longoria. The World Health Organization did a campaign a few years back just trying to tackle the stereotypes behind aging. David Bowie was quoted as saying, "Aging is a beautiful process." Your thoughts on aging? What's your best decade? 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s? At what age did you learn your best lessons? Talk to me in the chat.
Okay, if there's one thing I learned from this is that you really just might get better with every age. A couple of you saying you're turning 70 this year. That age is all about how you feel. Another one of you saying you're 53, enjoying every minute of being 50. And as far as the best decade goes, one person said it was their 40s. They're 61 now and wish they would have taken better care of their body when they were younger. But age is still in your mind. It's just a mental thing. We're all in different decades of our age. So what do you all think? Any lessons you learned either now or before? Your favorite age, your best decade?
I don't know. I'm in my 40s. I'm having a ball.
Yeah.
And I think it is the cliche, like a fine wine, hopefully.
Absolutely.
I hope I look like a six-pack of Miller Lite. But hopefully learning and growing, but really no regrets, and I've really enjoyed every single one of them.
Yeah, I think the older you get, the more confident you get, and that obviously helps on the outside as well. And you're 17.
I wish. The 30s, everyone said, like, your 30s are better than your 20s, and I had high hopes, and so far, that's definitely true. Like, in your 20s, you're broke, right? You don't know where you're going in life.
Yeah, that's true.
And then you get into your 30s, and you're like, okay, I know who I am, I like who I am, and you get a little bit more money, too, so it helps.
So about those 20s, a lot of mistakes are made then for a lot of people. Have you had any? Do you regret anything from when you were younger? Or maybe regret anything that you're going to do when you get older? I sent you an Instagram the other day, and it was this old man getting down.
That's going to be me. Oh, I cannot wait.
Any regrets?
Gosh, probably spending time with the wrong people.
That's
and in the moment you don't think anything of it, but then you look back and you're like, gosh, I wasted so much time with those people that weren't doing anything for me.
Trying new things, because you're always cautious when what are people going to think? The goal is to care less about what people think as I get older. I mean, within the bounds of the FCC.
I got you.
But really not a ton of them, which is good.
That is good.
Yeah.
Keep it going.
That's the goal.
I like that. Okay, so now to an event that is turning 59 this year and always has everyone talking. We're talking about the Super Bowl, of course. This Sunday, the Kansas City Chiefs go head-to-head with the Philadelphia Eagles. And if that's giving you a bit of deja vu, here's why. It's because Those same two teams, as you know, battled it out 2 years ago when Arizona hosted the big game. That was a year Rihanna performed.
Oh, so good.
So good, and I saw that in person, by the way. This year, there are so many headlines swirling around the Super Bowl, from Taylor Swift making an appearance, Kendrick Lamar performing.
How is that going to go down?
I cannot wait. The diss track.
He has to sing that, right?
He has
to.
He's probably going to wait. That's going to be the last thing he sings.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, he has to. Anyway, Simone, let's start with you because you are actually excited for the game.
Yes.
The halftime
Philly girl.
performers.
Oh my goodness.
There's a lot to talk about, but the game for you is big.
The game for me is huge. We, like you mentioned, we went head-to-head with the Chiefs 2 years ago. It didn't go the way we hoped, right? Ever since that moment, all eyes in Philadelphia have been, we need to get back and we need to get revenge, right?
Goodness.
And so I was really hoping it was going to be the Bills. I love Josh Allen, and Buffalo has a great team, but now that it's Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs, I'm like, we have got to get revenge for what we didn't finish 2 years ago.
I wish I could have seen you in that game last weekend.
Oh
Oh my
boy,
gosh,
lots of screaming.
Yeah,
She says she turns her phone off so no one
I
bugs
put it
her.
on Do Not Disturb.
Do Not Disturb.
Because people like to chirp me, and I don't need it.
I'm busy.
busy.
I'm busy. Okay, Ian, you and I, not so much for the game, but we like the halftime stuff.
Oh, I love the halftime. The commercials, I'll catch a few of them,
Yeah,
but
they're
I
fine.
love the food.
Yeah.
I like making something delicious,
Oh.
bringing it to the party.
This is an invite. I think
Yeah.
this is an
There we
invite.
go.
I
Let's watch it together.
know.
So yeah, you just like the vibe
The
of Super
vibe,
Bowl
yeah,
Sunday.
the spectacle and stuff like that. I mean, Simone knows more about sports than I do.
Yeah, all of us actually. Yeah.
Just Eagles football. That's
Just
my
Eagles
bread and butter.
football.
So.
Yeah, I'm always excited just to hear who's doing halftime.
Yeah.
You know, last year was Usher.
So good.
Yeah, it was so good. So I'm excited for Kendrick Lamar just because I want to know popcorn.
Yeah, and SZA. I can't believe SZA's going to be there.
SZA too.
So we're excited.
And
Anyway,
the sets, what are the sets going to look like? All of them.
Costumes.
I'm here
Yeah.
for it. Turn your phone on for that. because
Okay,
I'll be texting.
I'll
be chirping
take
you.
D&D off for halftime.
All right, thank you guys so much for joining me.
Thanks, Yetta.
Good to be here.
I'd say at least once a week I get a message from somebody who is thanking me because it is their first time working out.
Changing lives one dance move at a time. Still ahead, Big Kid Rick opens up about his journey, inspiring millions of people online.
That's the energy.
That makes me
That's what we're looking for.
We need to go to that class.
That's going to be me after the Super Bowl.
Hey, she's manifesting.
Manifesting that win.
That hand goes in the air like you're getting pulled by a balloon.
Okay.
So step together, step together, step.
Oh,
step
yes.
together, step.
Okay. Oh, no, that is so bad. Everyone starts somewhere, right? In tonight's Not Done Yetta, we are going behind the scenes with Big Kid Rick. The dance fitness celebrity is followed by millions of people online, always encouraging everyone to strive for progress, not perfection.
We say there are no mistakes in this workout. There are only accidental solos.
A lesson in the beauty of mistakes, all while shaking some booty on the dance floor. Rick Coffey, aka Big Kid Rick, is the man behind a movement of acceptance.
I think people see a normal guy having the best time of his life.
Yeah.
And that's what I think draws people to my page and what makes people engage with my dance videos, because I do not have your typical fitness body even now today. I am not just some stunningly handsome man. I look like the guy
Wait a minute, you're handsome.
Oh, shucks.
Rick really isn't just a normal guy, though. He's built a huge dance community online with more than 1 million followers on Instagram.
I'd say at least once a week I get a message from somebody who is thanking me because it is their first time working out. So it'll be their first time getting off the couch in years because they saw me on social media.
Born and raised in Cincinnati, Ohio, with dreams of hitting it big on Broadway, Rick moved to New York, chasing his dream. But it didn't turn out to be what he had hoped.
What was the problem with that for you?
I consider myself an artist, and I like to be mentally engaged. And if I'm told exactly what I have to do for 200 nights straight or 200 performances straight. It just doesn't keep me engaged.
Yeah.
It would be years until Rick found his way to the desert and eventually back to himself.
Just like anybody else who went from a career that was very physically active to a career that was sitting in an office, I had gained a lot of weight. And, you know, I kind of fell out of love with my body. One day, a coworker said, hey, you've got to check out this dance fitness studio in Old Town Scottsdale. I stuck with it because it made me feel good. It made me feel proud. There were about 10 years of my life when I never got into a swimming pool. There were 7 years of my life when I was not physically intimate with another person. And there was about a decade of time where I stopped appreciating my body and what my body was capable of. And when I went to that dance fitness class, and at the end of the class, I looked in the mirror, it was the first time I had really felt proud of myself.
Wow. So proud that a couple of years ago, Rick started to share his own story and dance routines online. Now, he's gotten so popular, he sells out his classes in Tempe and across the country.
It doesn't matter how often you work out. You started this movement.
At the end of it all, Rick says the goal is not about a number on the scale or even to be the world's best dancer.
Show up as the best version of yourself in whatever it is that you do. We aren't in control of our circumstances, but we are in control of our effort and our energy. I'm not perfect. I'm a work in progress just like everybody else, but I'm going to try as best as I can, and I'm going to do it with a smile.
You can work out and dance with Big Kid Rick 2. His schedule of classes in Tempe is online now. Thank you so much for watching this Arizona's Family original. We've got some exciting news. You can now follow the show on Instagram and TikTok. You can see our new handle down below there. You're going to find the behind-the-scenes stuff with everyone you just saw and a sneak peek of future episodes. We'll see you again next week.
Hey, is someone from FedEx here? The FedEx car. I'm like, do you guys have my package? I have the tracking number. I'm nervously stuffing my face with a pretzel. I am so worried.